Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another free Investors Underground morning broadcast. For those of you new here, this is the exact same process we go through every single morning in the room at 8:45, and then obviously updates throughout the day in chat. Just a disclaimer before we get started, this video is for information and education purposes only, should not be construed as investment advice by or sell recommendations. If you're happy with that, then please continue and stick around. All right, cool. We've got the boss up first. Nate, take it away.
What's going on, guys?
Don't be nervous there.
Yeah, I had it on mute. My bad. All right. So, the market has obviously had quite a rally, and I'm not ultra bear or anything like that. I'm just open to opportunity, imagination, and just always kind of trying to think ahead a little bit as far as the range potential and sort of the landscape for what's going on right now. And it kind of feels, especially the Boeing news this morning out of China, it does still feel like the tensions are there. I do think that we're going to get back into some sort of a volatile market. There'll be headlines back and forth. Obviously, Trump loves to, say big things, big headlines. And obviously the market has a very hard time, I think, kind of preparing for that stuff, because it's just it's inconsistent. You never know which way it's going to go. And I'm no complaints from a volatility perspective, but the point is, as investors, it's very hard to put trust into the market when you don't know when the next headline's coming or what's going to be said. So I think until all of that stuff calms down, it's going to be a big tug of war back and forth. So, I get used to it. We got 4 years of craziness. But that said, Palantir, for me, that I typically will go towards NVIDIA, Apple, and Palantir. Those are sort of my go-to names right now. I used to do, SMCI when it had a little bit more range. And there's been a couple others that I've been sort of going to. GME actually offered a nice opportunity yesterday. So typically I'll be looking for sort of overextended charts that, can been going up, 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 up. And then if the market starts to pull back, I'm going to look for pressure to come on this, this type of trade. So for example, GME, I've had no interest for, a couple weeks now, or at least 1 or 2 weeks. But if we start going 535, 532s, 530s on the SPY, and we're back into, bear market, quote unquote, then I'm going to GME. I'm going to be looking for this opportunity to fade it back. So anyway, go-to names always Palantir for me, Apple and NVIDIA. I traded both of those this morning. Those were the trade ideas in the room so far related to the market. As far as small cap ideas, this was a nice morning kind of move, kind of ramped right back, right up towards 250s and higher. Had a little bit of trouble at VWAP, came back in. I put on a little bit, but I wanted to see it, basically do a VWAP clear out. Once we got that, started to scale into the trade, covered some, rescaled some, currently short a little bit left. MURA, MURA, was a long bias trade. And this one was a nice little morning rip, sits back, comes back, collects shorts at 150. And the idea that I posted in the room was as long as 150 and over and under, not necessarily just 150. If it goes to 147, that doesn't can the idea. But looking for a trap over and under that 150 level, since that's more of a psychological kind of target. And then I looked to get long, and then I started to scale up a little bit versus that VWAP as my risk for that two push happened. So I went ahead and sized down. At this point, I don't have a strong bias yet. I'd either want to see a 210, 220 kind of clear out and fade off, or 190s over and under failed follow through, in which I would participate on the short side. The other couple small caps, we had SBEV, that one, and SYNR. Just traded those ones small so far. Pre-market is, for me, is more about kind of creating that the padding, so that I can kind of let more of the bigger picture type trades work post open, so I'm not looking to take something from the highs and hold it more of a macro view all day when I'm trading pre-market for the most part, unless it's some sort of A+ setup where we've got an overextension. We've been waiting for it. It's gapping up a few bucks. It's starting to parabolic. Then yes, I'm going to have more of a macro type of view. But pre-market for me, get that padding up a little bit so that I can go ahead and let things work while still having that little bit of a padding throughout the day. Only other ones, USAR was a gapper idea yesterday, and NMAX was not a gapper idea, but definitely one that I want to watch weakness today for the potential of maybe like a 30 to 32 type of move. This is one of those that everybody's kind of looking for the rebound. Nobody thinks it's going to actually do it. They start to get short, and then they get popped. So lower the better. Watch for traps. We need traps in order for it to work. So a lot of times people look at it and they see it kind of fading off and they think it's done. But if you look at yesterday and how it kind of reacted, pretty much every single time it faded off, it came back in a hurry. So that bias stands as long as it's around, over this 27 sort of 40, 27.50 level. If it starts to peak out, then I would say that kind of voids the thesis until it sort of reclaims. So USAR was just the right idea. Almost the same trade as MURA this morning, but that was an idea at the 11 level yesterday. Sold some, but then my goal was to be a gapper. And last but not least, I think XPEV is just going to be on perma radar just in case it's back to having some range. So anyway, focus, PLTR, NVIDIA, Apple with SPY, small caps, SNYR, SBEV, and this MURA, potentially MTVA. So just a couple watches, and that's it. Back to you, Sam.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Busy morning as always, as expected with yourself. All right, cool. We are heading over to Emil. Emil.
Yes.
You give you a
All
second.
right. No. All right. Morning, everyone. So this morning I'm going to watch few big caps and also few small caps, but the thing is I'm not super biased on any direction since QQQ it's range bound here and I'm just going to patiently wait and see if it's going to hold this trend on a small time frame. So as long as it's going to build up above 545, there might be some good opportunity for some long trades later in the day. But on the other hand, if we are going to lose that level and have a big washout or some sort of a washout at the open, then definitely interested in getting involved in any pops. That being said, I'm looking at Tesla. See how it's going to hold this trend, and so far doesn't look too strong, definitely. And if it's going to stay under that level, and pretty much same thing, we'll be interested in getting involved in a pop. Apple seems that it's the weakest one so far, so I'm going to keep an eye there also. Again, I'm going to give a little bit of time to see these patterns evolve for a bit and then decide if there is going to be a trade or not. But so far, the market doesn't look that might want to bounce. And here, for instance, if it's going to push against red to green and then stuff there might be something. But again, so far it's trending, so I'm not going to fight with the trend and get short bias just because went up quite a lot in the past few days, despite the fact that yesterday been weak. So I need a little bit more to see more and let the price move either direction before I'm getting any trade there. Then I'm going to watch MURA. This one is pretty resilient in pre-market, so nothing for me here so far, but I'm going to watch any blow off out of the gate and see if this scenario is going to take place. Definitely higher the better. I'm going to be basing my risk against 250, especially if it's going to open above these levels. Already has a big range in pre-market, so any fast expansion of the price, definitely interested in getting a short, even more because the news it's not really that good. So again, price action, it's going to be the main driver, key driver here, and nothing for me yet, but any pops and fails, definitely interested. SNYR, it's the other name I'm going to watch. So far nothing, but if it's going to push back against 450-ish area, definitely interested in a short. Nothing here, but also looking at previous levels. So the more levels are going to lose early in the morning, the better the risk reward is going to be on the backside, especially because we have this previous level. So so far lost this level. I'm interested in 450. If it's going to go lower, then I'm going to be interested in getting involved a little bit later in the morning, especially because the range it's so big on this one. So yeah, pretty much that's it for me today, guys, and I'm passing it over to Judah.
Good morning. I really don't have much on watch, but this MSGM was getting a little bit of attention just now pre-market, but it pretty much round tripped. I do have interest though, if at some point, I mean, this is pretty far now that it's at $1, but if the 140s could break and build, then I'd be interested there at some point later in the day. The only reason is because that is the 200-day moving average, and the float in market cap is very small. If something is going to go and do something, interesting today, then this is it. But if it doesn't hit that 138, then I have zero interest. It probably won't even get pulled up on my screen. But this was just a quick ad because I believe the PR just came out at 850. So didn't really give much time to fully view it. But anyway, yeah, we'll see how that does later, but probably not even a interest. As for actual continuations, I still don't even see much. I mean, the market, we are getting a bounce, but there's not many things that look actually great out there. Pretty much everything looks the same. I want to look for things that have an actual trend. So MVST has been holding up the entire time since their earnings over here, and now it's just tightening up. If the market does bounce or hold, I want to see this 175's trend line just break and build for a continuation. It's pretty much been consolidating, and it's like one of the only names that have consolidated since that November move during quantum, and pretty much everything else that has moved, robotics, I mean, they've all gone further, and they don't look as good as this has. So 175 break and build for continuation. And then this sector is pretty much what I'm going to keep on watch for the next few days and weeks. Maybe this could turn into the energy trade that we had last year. Pretty much Trump plans order to stockpile deep sea critical metals, and I mean these dailies they're coming off multi-year bases down here. This is TMC, which had a fantastic move yesterday, and we got MP and USAR, NB, and these four are pretty much what I'm going to keep on watch. I mean, it's like NNE and OKLO was similar to what we're seeing now with TMC or USAR, a little bit longer. But if these could start to really hold and build trend and do that 2 DLV and consolidate, then I think these are ones to watch for the next few weeks or even months. Then two others that probably don't really have much interest, but the dailies are still holding up, is this QSG. It's a China name, education. Not sure how much interest I have in it, but if 475s break, then I'll just keep an eye on it. If the volume is there, then maybe, but just something that I want to watch given the pattern. And then Surge, Also, another one, small cap, that's just been holding up since their earnings gap, but the volume isn't really there. It's just one that's, holding well. Everything else on my scans and radar are all over the place. So I still don't have anything interesting or exciting. It's just the market that we're in right now. But that's what I got for today, and I'll pass it over to Dawson.
Good morning, everybody. What's going on? I'll start off here with a kind of a basket watch. I've got semiconductors coming up in the next couple days here. Kind of as Judah mentioned with the market bounce, names are still pushing up into their declining moving averages. So everything is still in a downtrend. Pops are getting sold. So I'm not super bullish to get long a bunch of large cap names. And with the semiconductors, NVIDIA is one of the ones with the stronger bounce in that sector. But if you start looking into the ones that aren't in such high focus, high demand with people, they're bear flagging. They're consolidating near their lows. They haven't bounced super strong. Relative weakness versus NVIDIA and versus the rest of the sector. So something like MU that broke below this 85 really long base, multi-months, multi-years. And now the range that's consolidating in super tight. We've got this higher low trend starting to form. So if this trend gives way and you get NVIDIA as like the anchor starting to pull the rest of the names, I like this one for a trend join. If you look across, like if you go on FinViz or something and look at semiconductors, you'll see them start to fail to fall through. A bunch of them look similar. MU I'm just more familiar with. I've traded it more. So that one will be my focus there in the semis. Bull. This one here, Webull SPAC came out on that first day and didn't really get much attention until after hours. And then it really started going. I know a lot of traders were looking for this gap up short here coming into day 2, and they definitely got popped. And now we've got levels to play off of here. We've got some volume traded, and this 55, 56 level I like as a key. So any exhaustion through this 55, 56 using red to green as a guide, looking for sit-backs, failed fall through, and possible rollover. THTX, this one here, small cap, up from the 120s up to $3. Bagged a bunch up over 280 plus. You can see the volume profile here kind of squeezed out, and then VWAP seller the rest of the day. So I like pop versus red to green as a guide, and look for a first red day there. And then GRR, kind of a back burner watch, but something to keep on radar. We had this higher low trend fail, bear flag breakdown. This kind of setup has been working day after day in this market. So looking for this 15 breakdown, and then possible little volume pocket there down to $10. It's the same kind of thing that just happened with MLGO. And then Reddit did the same kind of thing under these 150s, bear flag breakdown, and then you get that secondary leg for another 20 points lower. So I think GRR is kind of in that stage, and I'll be looking for a trade on that one as well. So that's my watch list, Sam, and you can wrap it up.
Thank you, Dawson. Sorry, that was my fault for muting. Thank you, Dawson. Thank you very much, gentlemen. As I said at the start, this is the exact same process that we go through every single morning at RU. If you are interested in checking us out, my details are on the screen now. Now, there's tons of variety this morning in the watch list. As always, as we always say, get in where you fit in and trade them well. Thanks, everyone. See you in the room.